My name is Des Clay, and I played Jesus during Whip Hammer and Cross. I took it serious, very serious, and leading up to the production, 3 days before, I did a complete fast, which was the first time I've ever done that before. And it was strange to me that I didn't feel hungry throughout the 3 days. My wife and several people joined me, and they were hungry. My wife especially. It was kind of funny. But for me, that really cemented that I knew that I was doing this for the right reasons. This was the first time that I felt this spiritually connected to God. I've always had a relationship with Him, and I've prayed, and I felt His impact on my life. But I felt like I heard directly from God, because so it was Saturday, the second day of the production. Each day of the production, I felt like I was getting a little closer to God each and every day. And on the third day, I got woken up in the morning. We had church that Sunday. I got woken up at 5:45 that morning by the Holy Spirit, and I got a word from God. And that it kind of scared me, because I'd never experienced that before. Neither has Kiara, my wife. She's probably read that message 10 times, just because she's so shocked at the way that God moved inside of me and used me. And my goal was to be a vessel throughout this whole process, to let go and to let Him use me in the best way that He could, to share the gospel. And maybe through that, people could be saved and form a relationship with Jesus Christ. So that's the impact that it had on me. And I think I will never forget the impact that's made on my life. Best thing, I think, going through all of this is my kids got to see all of this. They got to see the impact, how serious I took it. They were asking me questions every day. And actually, after the first dress rehearsal, it kind of mortified them a little bit, because they got to see the blood and everything. And they asked me not to play Jesus, just because that was their dad being hurt. But I explained to them afterwards, and they were proud of me for saying yes. So the first night, when I got put up on the cross, like, man, it just, the weight of the Spirit, I just started sobbing, like I was just weeping, and that was real. The second night, it started when I was being nailed to the cross, where I just started to kind of lose it emotionally. And the third night, like, I was just a mess all over the place, like up and down, like throughout the production. It's kind of like an outer body experience. Like, some of the stuff, I even think the third night, Michael Maroney got pushed on top of me. Like, he was trying to go grab the cross for me dropping it. And one of the guards actually pushed him, and he flipped and landed on top of me. I didn't even feel it. He came up and apologized afterwards, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't remember that. Pastor Sawyer called it a spiritual boot camp. It's basically what you go through playing the role. And I felt that, like, seriously. I still have, like, little flashbacks here and there. It's just remembering, like, how I felt in the moment. Because what I try to do in each part is, like, just try to imagine that I was Him, and, like, what would I be feeling? Like, the betrayal of your closest friends and family, your 12 disciples, the hurt that people that close to you would betray you like that. But then on the flip side, like, the love that He still had after that, because He knew what was going to happen beforehand, but He was human. I mean, He put on our flesh during that time. So I tried to be as spiritually connected as possible, just so the feelings will be real. I never for once thought that I was in a play. Like, I always just try to take myself back to that time and try to internalize, like, what was Jesus thinking, or what was He feeling in this moment, and how He overcame that. Because us as humans, like, we're flesh, right? So one thought could lead us down a path that's destructive, and we may not be able to recover from it for years. And a lot of people struggle with that when you think about mental illness and mental health. It's such a big topic right now, because people are realizing it's taking an effect on your entire life, and it's okay now to seek help. So for Him being a flawless being, like, just try to think, like, man, despite everything he went through, He still said yes to God, to be killed and resurrected again. I looked at myself and was like, how flawed am I? And I look at all the areas, all the decisions that I've made that I'm not proud of, or all the people that I haven't reached out to after we've gotten into a disagreement or I've went through something with them. If God can forgive the people that he did, why can't I? So that's really, some of the brokenness on the stage for me was just that. It's like just thinking how flawed I am. But it's okay. I now know I don't have to be perfect, because I can't be. It's impossible. But instead, dive deeper into my relationship with God so he can fill the gaps where I'm missing. I would like to thank Pastor Sawyer and Miss Phyllis for them to even consider me playing this role of Jesus. It's a huge honor, and I know you typically have to put a lot of thought, prayer into who plays this role. It does take a physical, mental, and emotional toll on the person that plays it. But I would say, I know that we were able to basically save 300 souls by this past weekend by having this production. But for me, I've gotten so much closer to God in such a short amount of time that I'm so thankful, so grateful that I even had the opportunity. I don't take it for granted. And if somebody is considering doing a production, either, Christmas Now and Then or Whip Hammer and Cross, I would say yes, because that's the times where you're playing a role, but really if you're doing it for God and you see the impact that you make on others, it should change you more than it's changing the person, because we as a people in the church need to be prepared for the calling and to share the gospel and be the walk and live in Jesus each and every day in the workforce and throughout everything that we're doing. I've been going to Calvary for almost 15 years, and after my senior year of high school, went off to college, and I came back on the weekends, and then I decided to join the Army. We would come back. But up until a couple of years ago, I didn't go consistently because of me being away, and it's really been awesome to come back home and be connected with people that I would visit with. But it's different when you live here and you get to experience life with the people you go to church with. I've enjoyed my time here, and my closest friends go to Calvary. For people that are looking to possibly come to Calvary, I would say come and just be in the moment, be present. I think a lot of times we as people, we like to have criteria for everything that we do, and different boxes have to be checked. But the connection that you have with people and doing life with the people that you go to church with is really the impact that Calvary's made on my life. Like I said, we were in the military. I was active duty for 7 years. We went to 4 different churches, lived in 3 different states, and no place that we went to is like Calvary. I had great churches that we went to and attended, but usually it was go to church and then go home. There was no life experience connected to that, and that's the difference that I believe Calvary has over any other church I've ever been to. So, get plugged into a small group, take a step of faith and meet somebody, and you'd be surprised at what a simple conversation will lead to. It may lead to a lifelong friend, or having a lifeline when you're down and you don't know about who to call or what to do. There are some amazing people in this church, and I would say get plugged in as soon as you can.